The National Electrical Code, or NEC, generally prohibits running 6/3 non-metallic cable, commonly known as Romex, inside a 1-inch PVC conduit. NEC section 334.80 states that non-metallic cable shall not be installed in a raceway except as otherwise permitted in this article. NEC section 336.30 states that underground installation shall be made in raceways. There is an exception to section 334.80 which says that non-metallic cable can be installed in raceways where firstly, the raceway is specifically listed for use with non-metallic cable, and secondly, the non-metallic cable is rated for the voltage and temperature conditions in the raceway. In many cases, 6/3 non-metallic cable or Romex is not rated for installation in PVC conduit. The 50 amp current draw on the 6/3 cable could generate excessive heat buildup inside the conduit, which could damage the cable and the conduit. Therefore, it's generally not permitted to run 6/3 non-metallic cable inside a 1-inch PVC conduit for dedicated line to a hot tub. Here are some alternative solutions. Firstly, you can use an underground feeder electrical cable that is approved for direct burial. Secondly, you can install the conduit underground and use individual conductors or wires instead of non-metallic cable. It is always recommended to consult with a licensed electrician for professional guidance and installation. The reason for not being able to use Romex in a conduit, particularly underground, is multifaceted. Firstly, Romex is designed for dry locations. When buried underground, even inside a conduit, there is a high likelihood of moisture ingress over time. This moisture can degrade the cable's insulation, leading to potential shorts, ground faults, and electrical hazards. Secondly, the NEC mandates that underground wiring must be protected by a raceway for physical protection against damage from rocks, soil movement, and other environmental factors. While PVC conduit provides this physical protection, Romex itself isn't designed to withstand the conditions inside conduit buried underground. Thirdly, heat dissipation is a significant concern. When Romex is installed in free air, it can dissipate heat effectively. However, when enclosed in a conduit, especially underground, the heat can build up. This heat buildup can exceed the cable's temperature rating, leading to premature aging and failure of the insulation, and potentially creating a fire hazard. The NEC specifies ampacity ratings for conductors based on their insulation type and the surrounding environment. These ratings take into account the heat generated by the current flowing through the conductor and the ability of the surrounding environment to dissipate that heat. When conductors are bundled together in a conduit, or when the conduit is buried underground, the heat dissipation is reduced, and the ampacity of the conductors must be deaerated accordingly. This deaerating ensures that the conductors don't overheat and cause a fire hazard. Non-metallic cable, like Romex, typically has a lower temperature rating than individual conductors that are approved for wet locations and direct burial. This means that Romex is more susceptible to heat buildup and damage when installed in a conduit underground. The NEC provides specific tables and guidelines for deaerating conductor ampacity based on the number of conductors in a raceway, the ambient temperature, and other factors. It's important to consult these tables and guidelines to ensure that the conductors are properly sized and installed to prevent overheating and fire hazards. When using individual conductors inside a conduit, you have the flexibility to choose conductors with higher temperature ratings and insulation types that are suitable for wet locations and direct burial. For example, THW and RXHHW conductors are commonly used for underground wiring in conduits. These conductors have a higher temperature rating than Romex and are designed to withstand wet conditions. When installing individual conductors in a conduit, it's important to follow the NEC guidelines for conduit fill. The NEC specifies the maximum percentage of the conduit's cross-sectional area that can be occupied by conductors. This ensures that there's enough space inside the conduit for heat dissipation and for pulling the conductors. Exceeding the conduit fill limits can make it difficult to pull the conductors and can also reduce the ampacity of the conductors. When burying conduit underground, it's important to bury it deep enough to protect it from damage from digging, frost heave, and other environmental factors. The NEC specifies minimum burial depths for different types of conduits and wiring methods. These minimum depths vary depending on the voltage of the wiring and the location of the conduit. It's also important to use the correct type of conduit for underground burial. PVC conduit is commonly used for underground wiring, but it's important to use a schedule that is rated for direct burial. Schedule 40 PVC conduit is generally suitable for direct burial, but Schedule 80 PVC conduit is stronger and more resistant to damage. When transitioning from underground conduit to above ground, it's important to use the correct fittings and connectors. These fittings and connectors should be rated for wet locations and should be designed to prevent water from entering the conduit. It's also important to seal the ends of the conduit to prevent rodents and insects from entering. When installing underground wiring, it's important to follow all applicable codes and regulations. The NEC is the primary electrical code in the United States, but local codes may also apply. It's important to check with your local building department to determine which codes and regulations apply to your project. It's always recommended to hire a licensed electrician to install underground wiring. A licensed electrician has the knowledge and experience to ensure that the wiring is installed safely and correctly. They can also help you to select the correct wiring methods and materials for your project. Underground feeder cable, or UF cable, is a type of electrical cable that is specifically designed for direct burial. UF cable has a tough outer jacket that protects the conductors from moisture, chemicals, and physical damage. UF cable is available in a variety of sizes and configurations to meet different electrical needs. When using UF cable, it's important to follow the manufacturer's instructions for installation. UF cable should be buried at the correct depth and should be protected from damage. It's also important to use the correct connectors and fittings for UF cable. When running individual wires and conduit, you'll need to select the appropriate wire size based on the load requirements and the distance of the run. Voltage drop is a critical factor to consider, especially for longer runs. Voltage drop occurs when the voltage at the end of the circuit is lower than the voltage at the beginning of the circuit. Excessive voltage drop can cause lights to dim, motors to run slower, and appliances to malfunction. The NEC provides guidelines for calculating voltage drop and for selecting wire sizes that minimize voltage drop. To minimize voltage drop, you can increase the size of the conductors, reduce the length of the run, or increase the voltage of the circuit. The NEC recommends that voltage drop should not exceed 3% for branch circuits and 5% for feeders. When selecting individual conductors for use in conduit, it's important to choose conductors that are rated for the voltage and temperature conditions. The NEC specifies the allowable temperature ratings for different types of conductors. The temperature rating of a conductor is the maximum temperature that the conductor can withstand without being damaged. It's important to choose conductors with a temperature rating that is high enough for the application. For example, if the conductors are going to be installed in a hot environment, you'll need to choose conductors with a high temperature rating. When pulling conductors through conduit, it's important to use a lubricant to reduce friction. Lubricant makes it easier to pull the conductors and prevents damage to the insulation. There are a variety of lubricants available specifically for pulling electrical conductors. When using lubricant, it's important to follow the manufacturer's instructions. Over-lubrication can make it difficult to terminate the conductors and can also attract dirt and debris. When terminating conductors, it's important to use the correct connectors and fittings. Connectors and fittings should be rated for the size and type of conductor being used. It's also important to tighten the connectors and fittings to the correct torque. Over-tightening can damage the conductors, while under-tightening can cause a loose connection. Loose connections can cause arcing, overheating, and fire hazards. When working with electricity, it's important to take safety precautions. Firstly, always turn off the power before working on any electrical circuits. Secondly, use insulated tools to prevent electric shock. Thirdly, wear safety glasses to protect your eyes from flying debris. Fourthly, never work on electrical circuits when you are wet or standing in water. Fifthly, if you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a licensed electrician. The NEC is updated every 3 years. It's important to stay up to date on the latest code changes to ensure that your electrical installations are safe and compliant. The NEC is available for purchase from the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA. You can also find information about the NEC on the NFPA website. In addition to the NEC, there may be local codes and regulations that apply to your electrical project. It's important to check with your local building department to determine which codes and regulations apply. The local building department can also provide you with information about permitting requirements and inspections. Obtaining the necessary permits and inspections is important to ensure that your electrical installation is safe and compliant. When hiring an electrician, it's important to check their credentials. Firstly, make sure that the electrician is licensed and insured. Secondly, ask for references from past customers. Thirdly, get a written estimate before the work begins. A written estimate should include a detailed description of the work to be performed, the materials to be used, and the total cost of the project. It's also important to ask the electrician about their experience with similar projects. An experienced electrician will be able to identify potential problems and provide solutions. When the electrical work is complete, it's important to have it inspected by the local building department. The inspector will verify that the work was performed in accordance with the NEC and local codes. If the inspection passes, the inspector will issue a certificate of occupancy. A certificate of occupancy is required before you can occupy the building. If the inspection fails, the inspector will provide you with a list of corrections that need to be made. Once the corrections have been made, you can request a re-inspection. In summary, running Romex inside Conduit underground for a hot tub is generally not permitted by the NEC due to potential heat buildup and moisture issues. Safe alternatives include using UF cable for direct burial or running individual, appropriately rated wires inside the conduit. Always consult with a qualified electrician to ensure your installation complies with all applicable codes and is safe for use.